Hi, Courtney here, and I'm here today to talk to you and give you some tips on offering a yoga event. This is for a small yoga event, and today we're going to cover finding the location, the time, and what to charge. First of all, if you are a yoga teacher and you have a 200-hour RYT, then I would call it an intensive. This is a small event. This is my dog Jameson. I have a cat on my back. I'm talking to you today about smaller events, maybe half a day event, like a 2 to 3 hour kind of intensive or mini workshop. So if you are RYT 200 and you're not able to offer continuing education, I would just call it an intensive. And that way people don't expect to be able to use it for contact CEUs. You can call it whatever you want, but it's just kind of a common courtesy in the field. So let's talk about finding the location. So if you're with a studio, I mean, that's kind of a given. But the hard part about working with the studio is you're going to have to work within the time constraints of the studio. And so you can find other locations like churches, event centers, community centers, and things like that. The ideal thing to do, it could even be at someone's home or a place that you rent. If you're renting a place like a VRBO or an Airbnb, make sure that they don't have any limit rules on how many people you can have, because a lot of times there are rules on how many people that you can have in the house or the building. So you're going to need 25 to 33 square feet per person for a yoga mat and the ability to spread out. So if you had 10 people, that's going to be about 300. 20 people would be about 600 square feet. So think about that. And also it should be fairly close to where your community is, where you're going, where your clientele is, especially for an afternoon event. I worked in an art school and I still do, and we offer events in the art school, or my friend has a house that she uses for a studio, or we offer events there. The second thing is time. What's the best time? It really depends on your clientele. But if you look at the yoga statistics out there that have been gathered, most people who practice yoga, even though it looks like a very young activity, the truth is it's usually majority is women, not all, but a large majority of women working, college educated, and they generally have a little bit higher income. Now, I know that sounds very stereotypical, and I don't mean for it to, because I encourage diversity and I want people from all over to do yoga. So you have to look at what your clientele looks like. But for the most part, in most areas, it's going to be catering to working people. So I would consider a time that was either on the weekend or in the evening. And ideally, like here in the South, Wednesday night is church night. So we don't generally plan things on Wednesday nights. I know it sounds crazy if you're not from the South, but trust me, in the Bible Belt, we have to think about this thing. Oddly, Sunday afternoons when I had my studio were an amazing time for our little yoga intensives that we did. We did one a month. We charged like $20 to $30. It was a 2-hour event at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they went like wildfire. We just did really good with those. It was like a little bit deeper immersion into something. And so we found that afternoons, Saturday and Sunday afternoons, over by dinner time, over by 5 o'clock, starting a little bit after lunch, so like 2 to 5 was really, really good for us. So it depends on your clientele, but be thinking, if you're having an event that's like after work on Friday night, that might work too, but you want to make sure there's not a lot going on in town the same weekend. If there is a local fall festival that everyone goes to, or in the town that I work, the city next door to mine, where I grew up, there's a neighboring community. Softball is huge. So during softball season, nobody shows up to anything. So really think about what's going on in your community when you want to offer your event. The third thing that I want to talk to you about is what to charge. So think about what you charge for classes and double that times the hours. You go up a little bit if you're more experienced, and you might go down a little bit if you're less experienced. If you're charging, for the sake of math, let's just keep it easy, $10 a class, which I know is really cheap in most of the country, but here in the rural South, that's average for a small town. then and you're offering a 2.5-hour workshop, I would charge somewhere around $25 to $35. Now, if the teacher has more experience and is very educated in the area in which they were teaching, then you might go up to $50. I know right now there's some SUP classes. I don't teach that, the paddleboard yoga, and they're charging $25 a class and they're getting it easily. A workshop on something like that, because there's a lot more equipment and expensive, I could see that being $50 to even $60, $70. So it really depends on what you're offering. Are you offering a snack? Are you offering some kind of little gift with it, like a yoga strap? You know, just kind of figure in the value and what you think your people will pay. So I kind of use $15 an hour as my base to $20 an hour. So I recently taught a 3-hour workshop and I charged $50 for it. So all right, if you like this video, I would so appreciate a thumbs up and a subscription. Also, you can find my ebook online on my website, balanceyogaandwellness.com, and I will link it in the show notes. It is called How to Put on Successful Workshops, Retreats, and Yoga Events, and it has tons of information from financial matters, finding a location, food, working with vendors, and working with other teachers. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time and listening to this. Have a great day.